Our children are priceless, and we would do anything to protect them. So why aren't you using Go Free to protect them from the most harmful ideas? Decades in the making, Go Free is a simple yet brilliant practice designed to free us from destructive socio-political ideas. As words are the tools with which we think, Go Free promotes precise, simple, and targeted language to counteract psychological warfare. When you go free of the system's control over your word choice, you liberate your thinking. As you grow, you can empower others. And the most important thing you can do is inoculate our children against the ideas that are meant to harm them.
Good to see everybody so far. Just bear with me, please. Try and get some stuff posted up on the jumbotron, but got a little bit of a late start today. But it's good to see you. Well, I guess that's good to get started. Like I said, kind of got a late start. Hey, Tree Godfather, Cool Papa J Magic, Stumbling, uh, Anglo-Saxon NWG. Good to see you guys. Yeah, so trying to get a little bit organized here, but as it goes with when I host this thing, it's more like the crash and burn version of the shade tree, but I still try to follow the format because it definitely helps a lot. So, uh, but yeah, if let me try to get the tree godfather. If you want to, Mike, I know you said you're kind of we're kind of under the weather. But I get it. If you just want to kind of hang back today, that's cool too. Anybody that wants to join up, you're always welcome to do so. Yeah, go ahead, janitor.
So I I think after the spaces, there's an easy way to download the audio of it that um the co-hosts like you, Tree, CKO, mainly you and Tree, oh Hans as well. Um at least if you have Chrome, then you can get a Chrome extension that can download the space as an MP3, and that would be useful for notes, AI notes, and so I'll try to post that in here because it's really helpful. And oh, Eindolin, when you start a space, um, and if you're on mobile, I think the way to do it is you start your space, right? But then there's this button on there, and it looks like a it's called the share button, right? And then you do post this, and then it'll share it to your timeline like as the space starts or whenever you do that, right? Because uh I have it set in like when it's in the timeline and it's not like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. and then I'm like, is it starting? And then I'm like, oh, it's because you had set the reminder earlier and I didn't catch that.
Well, yeah, I'll check out what you're saying. I think I kind of follow what you're talking about. I came down to the wire today. The Tree Godfather, he usually has his reminder up way early, and for me, I just kind of got it going a couple minutes ago. So I'm like I said, I'm kind of like getting a little bit of a late start going. Hey, Biosphere, let me get you a mic real quick. But I think I know what you mean. Yeah, so far I usually just kind of post it to the group chat, and I tried to send it to the Tree Godfather directly, but the link didn't even work. So I don't know what's up with it, but it's good to see you guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the intro done, and then we could start getting into some stuff. Hold up, let me get Hans a mic. Okay, good to go. All right. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Shade Tree White Wellbeing NWG space. We hold this space every day at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on X. We are a no white guilt community that meets to practice the concepts and lexicon developed by Jason Kerner, Mr. No White Guilt himself. You can find him here on X as at No White Guilt NWG. That's at No White Guilt NWG. On YouTube and elsewhere is simply No White Guilt, and on the web at nowhiteguilt.org. We discuss a wide variety of topics of interest to white people and look for ways to apply solutions. I'm Indolin, your host for today, and my co-hosts are, well, no co-host, but we got Biospirit with us, the Tree Godfather, Hans, janitor, so the usuals. Um, we run pretty casual here, but I do ask that you raise your hand if you would like to jump in. Otherwise, I will call on speakers in turn for their thoughts. If you would like to hop into the conversation, just request a mic and we'll get you set up. We only ask that you comport yourself as much as possible to the Go Free lexicon and dialectic and act like a proper lady or gentleman of the West as applicable. So let's go. So, and also, well, I will get into it, but I think it's the right thing. I posted hold up, the statement from Jason yesterday. Also include I'm pretty sure everybody here already knows, but included with that statement is the petition for Irana. So it's also I think it's up to almost 50 signatures, which is pretty awesome. But in case you guys aren't familiar, Biospirit of the West did start a petition last night. So, I mean, and it seems like people have just kind of been steadily making their way over to it. You sign your name to it. There's also an option to contribute some money to it, and apparently, according to the website, that helps spread it around. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I mean, somebody's actually doing something about it. So I definitely big respect to Biosphere for starting that. It came at a time last night when, I mean, of course we know like we're just being bombarded with this stuff, uh, and just really, in my opinion, not much productive. It sucks, man. Just a little bit of a PSA type of announcement. It's like, man, and I know the Tree Godfather knows what I'm talking about. It's like, man, you got to take care of your health, guys. That sounds kind of corny to say that, but it's the truth. And the thing is it's not just your health. It's all the BS that comes with it. I'm telling you, today has been a nightmare. So I apologize. I'm a little bit behind on stuff, and our brother, the Tree Godfather, I think he's kind of feeling it too. So he's still recovering from some stuff. So kind of have to bear with us, but just yeah, take care of yourself, guys, because this stuff is not fun. But yeah, so that's all. That's it for that. But as the format usually goes, I guess I'll get into the Westman of the day. Just give me a sec. So yeah, so I posted a link. Of course, everybody has a Wikipedia page, but I posted the link to it's Robert E. Howard's foundation. So that's our Westman for today. He's an American author. So he was born January 22nd, 1906, and he died on June 11th, 1936, at 30 years old. And he was a Texan. I mean, it was obvious in his work and his attitude. He was definitely the classic idea of a Texan. But so let's see. Yeah, so he was known as he was the author, so he was known as the father of sword and sorcery, the genre. When you think like Dungeons and Dragons and all that type of stuff, like it really kind of he inspired a lot of that. Many of his stories and characters, like Conan the Barbarian, if you guys are familiar, that's Robert E. Howard, and they made their debut in a fantasy horror fiction pulp magazine called Weird Tales. So, and pulp refers to the wood pulp paper the magazines were printed on, which was cheaper material than the higher quality, like glossy magazines like we have today. And with that, these magazines kind of had a little bit of a reputation. The term pulp fiction that we know today, it later came to mean like uh, kind of like lower quality in terms of subject matter, but they uh, they were more like lurid and exploitative, I guess. But so Weird Tales was it also printed his H.P. Lovecraft's early works, and that's one thing about Robert E. Howard is they had a lot of correspondence and letters back and forth. They really inspired each other a great deal, but I guess we'll kind of get into that in a little bit. So he was Howard. He was a big boxing fan. He took up amateur boxing as a young man, and you could actually there's pictures of him too. There's a few pictures of him in like a boxing stance. But yeah, he was an amateur boxer for a little bit. Uh, so as a child, his parents had a pretty rocky marriage, but he seemed pretty close to both of them. His dad was a doctor, and his mother really instilled in him a deep love of poetry and literature, and she in his early life really encouraged him to be a writer and would recite poetry to him and supported him a great deal in his efforts to write. But as a child, he loved to learn and he loved to read, but he hated school. So that's pretty relatable to a lot of people. He wasn't very fond of authority figures either. So and between his like personal dealings with bullies and the fact that he grew up with a doctor for a father in a place in an era where like injuries related to farming and oil rigging and stuff that was common, as well as local crime and gunfights and lynchings. And even though it wasn't that common at this time in America, there was still uh, there was still some Indian raids and stuff going on, and I'm not sure if he witnessed this stuff firsthand, but for sure, like his father being a doctor had dealt with a lot of this type of stuff. Um, so like I said, by that time, Indian raids weren't as common for sure, but it was still something that he was kind of exposed to, and all of this stuff like really kind of shaped his personal outlook on life. He understood at an early age that the violent reality of the world and the importance of physical strength and toughness. And he, as a younger man too, he worked out and stuff. So you see like some fitness trends and stuff nowadays where people are kind of like chopping wood and all that type of stuff for as like a not really for the work itself, like as a workout. It's kind of weird. He was kind of doing that stuff way back then himself. Um so and as I mentioned, he also really loved boxing. Boxing was huge in America at that time. It was just as big as football is now. But so So he grew up appreciating like all types of violent masculine struggle. So he graduated from high school in 1923 and had already been writing stories since the age of 9. Like a lot of his early stories were, I mean, he wrote fiction, but a lot of his early stories had to do with like Vikings and Arabs and all types of battles and stuff. I mean, starting a writing career at the age of 9 is is pretty impressive. But I guess by the age of like 15, that's when he was sending his work to different magazines and stuff, and he was rejected quite a few times. But he did, like I said, he started getting published through Weird Tales, and then later on, his stories and books really they compiled them and that later became what we know today is like Conan the Barbarian, which I guess most people are more familiar with the movie, but it started off as a book. So, but I'm not sure if anybody's too familiar with him. Uh, I just feel like he had a really fascinating life, and somebody had mentioned the other day at a gathering with Jason, somebody had asked for, they were interested in finding some fiction that they could get into at work or something along those lines. And this just kind of came to mind because when I look for books and I like to read, it's usually nonfiction. I usually stay pretty close to like historical stuff and um I don't know, I guess like fiction and fantasy and stuff like that never really interested me that much. Not that it didn't, it's just kind of hard for me to get into, but just kind of learning about his personal life, Robert E. Howard, really kind of it primed me to get more into his fictional stories because he was such a fascinating person. The Robert E. Howard Foundation, they have a new YouTube channel, so they're only at like 450 subscribers. Uh, but there it's pretty. If you're interested at all, I highly recommend it. And if you're not really into his books, this might prime you to really kind of look into his writing because he had, like I said, they would write him and H.P. Lovecraft would write letters back and forth and these later got published because they were like people are just so interested in it. This foundation is put on by like people like study his work, so it's like scholars that have been studying his work for and interested in his books and everything for their whole lives. Like I said, I mean, everything I'm saying here, I just kind of, I mean, I took some notes, but nothing I say can do it justice. It's something where I can sit and like listen to these guys talk all day, but uh, I just highly recommend it if you're interested in his work or fiction in general. Um, so anybody else have any experience with HP? I mean, not well, or both. Anybody know about Robert E. Howard?
I last fall I had looked into Pulp Fiction a lot. I don't know anything about these two writers other than what you told me. Um and I looked into that genre because it was less wide erased. Um and so I also looked into it because I like the radio programs, and a lot of these Pulp Fictions are about murder mystery and crime detective and the gun shoe gumshoe, yeah, um, PIs, uh, and I like um those stories, so I learned about them. I like a few of them that I really liked. I just don't even remember, even though it was only last autumn. Like they have them on YouTube where you can search. Some of these were turned into movies or TV shows, but I mean mostly like cheap movies and nice radio programs where they'll go on for like hours, kind of reading it in different voice actors. Um, and you can find on also on YouTube some people review like Pulp Fiction in like that's really a nice genre. Like if you're interested in the topics I just brought up, I don't think I ever saw anything about fantasy really. It was mainly the Pulp Fiction was. I mean, I remember the people who bought Pulp Fiction in the biography of Pulp Fiction is that they gave them to laborers after they got off from work. Not gave them, you still have to buy it, but it's on the stand like newspaper over there, and it's cheap, and it's only a few pages long most of the time. Um, so not a long story. And on the covers of Pulp Fiction, it's really uh racy. I mean, not what's it called? Spicy, kind of like that.
Yeah, they kind of had a reputation for that. That's kind of what they were known for. There was later you'd have stuff like detective stories and little weird kind of like subgenres, but yeah, they would kind of sell them. I guess it's almost similar to how they would sell tabloids and stuff. Like you have regular magazines and then you have tabloids and like Reader's Digest and that type of thing. But yeah, it kind of spans a few different categories, like kind of like genres. But yeah, that's I guess for people that weren't like published authors, it was something that you could like submit your work to and have a better chance of being discovered, I guess is how they would do it. But yeah, as you said too, with the there with especially with Robert E. Howard, his work is less white erased. It's it's really because he had him and like I said with him and H.P. Lovecraft, they would go back and forth writing these really extensive letters that people later were so fascinated with that they published and everything. But they inspired each other, but it was just a sign of the times. The thing race was more of a, and this is pre World War II, so that's the thing. Also, is the world before World War II was way different than the world after World War II. So just to kind of put in context, but they and like I said, with these scholars that kind of go into his work, they don't really apologize for the more racial aspects. And it's not to say like they were just outright like they weren't like uh hateful towards other races and stuff. It was just a subject that they didn't really shy away from. People were there was clear differences. One thing that everybody knows with like H.P. Lovecraft is his cat's name. It was named after like a racial pejorative. So if you ever like wondered like where all that comes from, this stuff really if you check out the Robert E. Howard Foundation channel, like they really kind of put everything into context. But yeah, as you said, like race is definitely like something that comes up in his work. Uh, uh, I mean, it kind of goes into not a whole lot of anti-Semitism, but it's just something that's there. But they don't really apologize for it. They just kind of they explain it. They put it into context. So I saw Hans, your hand was up.
My hand is up, but my app was in the background. Okay. I because I recently um, organized all my books in bookcases. So now all my books are in my home office. And I wanted to see, do I have books of Robert E. Howard? I have one book. It's Conan the Warrior. And I'm going to put a photo of the book in the chat, because it's very clear in the photo that the good guys are white and the bad guys are not. But I have another book that's interesting. It's another Conan book from Robert Jordan. titled Conan the Defender. But this is, I'm disappointed that I only have one book of this author. I remember I read this a long time ago, so I'm definitely going to fix that, because I have a serious issue with um, these books that I started to organize, and I found that all the newer books that I bought have some one or more um, really bad anti-white meme pathogens. Now, I can ignore um, something that, let's say, at the start of the story they tell you this character is this and this character is this, and to set up the anti-white narrative. So I can handle that, because you can read that part and then forget about it because it's not part of the story. But the problem is with these stories is they weave the anti-whiteism into the story. It becomes part of the story, and then it's impossible to ignore. So I'm definitely going to make an effort, because I didn't know that Robert E. Howard did anything else other than Conan. So I'm very interested now, especially because he seemed to be really good friends with what's that poet? Um, that guy with the long face and the cat. Anyway, um, yes, no, thank you. This was such a good find. I'm energized now again for to re-westernize my bookcase.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting into with the this H.P. Lovecraft with the long face and the cat. Like I said, his his cat's name everybody knows. It's a goofy name. It's a, like I said, a racial pejorative. So if you're unfamiliar, but the thing is you hear that and you just don't understand. Like, but that was common back in the day. Like that's, it's not that he was like hateful or anything towards black people. It's just something that people would do. So, but it kind of, like I said too, with this the Robert E. Howard Foundation channel, they really kind of put everything into context. That's one thing about these guys that like really have studied his work. It's strange because like there's other authors that really, I guess there's other authors that have people that follow them and really deep dive into their work, but uh I guess as influential as Robert E. Howard was, it's really, it's something not quite like I've seen in other in other authors. So I thought it really, that alone, just like listening to these guys kind of, like I said, put everything into context. And uh, it's multiple people like on these panels. And it really kind of reignited my interest in kind of getting into his work. And of course, if you're one of those people that don't have time to read, I definitely get it. Of course, all like his work is available on audio book. So, and there's a lot of I mean, he wrote a lot of poems and stuff too. So it's, his stuff is just kind of scattered all over the place. But him and H.P. Lovecraft really did they influenced each other a lot. It came through in both of their writing, and their letters to each other are really interesting too. So I saw Janitor of White Noir's hand was up, but I don't see it now. Did you have something that you wanted to say?
Yeah, it was that I think the term racy when I used it was outdated, and it wasn't about Western kind, the biospirits at all. I meant like sexually provocative on the cover of pulp fiction stories. But yeah.
No, yeah, I got you. And you're right. That that's what a lot of pulp magazines and stuff. They were kind of known for that. That's, I guess that's how they just kind of lumped them all under this same subgenre. Welcome in the Blue Flame.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Well, seems to be working. Well, since I missed out on the good part, Robert T. Howard. That's a guy in the last 2 or 3 years that I've really gotten into. Not just the movies either. Well, the Conan Barbarian movie actually has very little to do with the written works, I suppose. But that's fun. Bit of a pity, I guess, that I missed it. I did catch you on the tail end there, Hans, when only knowing that he wrote the Conan the Barbarian tales, but I can name another 2 or 3 characters of his. Wait, Van Helsing, for example. He wrote Van Helsing tales as well. I think that's a pretty well-known name. It's like the vampire hunter, or like the a guy that chases like occult figures, something like that. And Bran McMorn, or what's the other guy called again? Uh, I can't think of the other guy. Those are some of his characters that are pretty well known. Oh yeah, Cole the Conqueror. There we go. Those characters. I know most about Conan myself, but I think those books are pretty epic, and that would be. I consider them very interesting reading for, well, let's say adolescent, let's say 15-year-olds and upwards. I think is fair. It would be nice. Bit of masculine vitality in a character, and a sense of kingship, sense of pursuing evil or whatever it's gonna be. I mean, what's not to like, right? And he has a very man had a very visceral way of writing, so it's also pretty nice. And even what's it called again? One of his Conan stories, Tower of the Elephant. I think the title is. That is actually him taking on a little bit of a Lovecraftian influence, but contrary with Lovecraft, where it's more so despair and you really can't do all that much about it. Uh, yeah, Robert E. Howard is of the opinion that so long as you stick a sword into it, it'll be all right. So a bit more hopeful and letting loose. Yeah, well, pretty neat. There is but yeah, there are so many well, pulp fiction as they call that, so many pulp fiction writers and what have you that are, I think, deliberately even being forgotten, being pushed into a back corner, and anti-whites are doing their utmost to feed nothing but nonsense to younger generations. I mean, anti-whites are even coming after Tolkien for the last few years as well, right? With that, yeah, that show that they're trying to make, which they, by the way, launched on the date of Tolkien's death. It's like, how much more disrespect can you get? Um, and it is something that we really need as well. More, I suppose, entertainment. A certain entertainment. White well-being is excellent. White well-being with a few more jokes and a few more, larger than life characters wouldn't go amiss either, because we do need that. It's in our myths constantly as well. These fascinating figures doing all sorts of things that that are fantastical and very grand scale, and I suppose innovative. Yeah, it would be so amazing if we would one day have like some dedicated writers who, for example, um, write some more stuff about Prometheus or whatever it's going to be. I suppose Jason has done something of that, but I never read that particular book of his uh, featuring Prometheus and all of that. But yeah, it's something about us, and it's especially for boys and I would say men as well. It's very invigorating reading, I would say. And there is something to be said about the otherworldly stuff that is being addressed in there, it's still very fascinating. Why does that need to be in there? And why does it appeal to us so? Yeah, it says something about us that maybe we need to discover or rediscover too. Yeah, that's. I guess that's what I want to add on that. It's something that I am very keen on seeing in the hopefully in the coming decades. You know that a lot of actually, yeah, even adding to that, I think that's also important. An important one. To be a writer today is usually associated with some guy who is, let's say, overweight. You know, the heaviest weight that he lifts in a day is a pen and some papers, and that's it. Most that he moves is stepping from the toilet to his desk and back, or whatever it's going to be. And I think this is also worth adding is that, for example, Robert T. Howard in his personal life, I think he even was somewhat of a boxer, somewhat of an amateur, but like the guy had some fisticuffs on him. And Professor Tolkien, he was a war veteran. With Lovecraft, I do not really know that all that much about his background. Seems a bit of a tragic character in a way, given that the dreams that he used to have. But there, how shall one put it? The quality of man that is a writer is also seriously diminished, I would say, these days. And it also we need to, yeah, we need a revival of, of hardy men who know which end of a shovel to hold and how to handle life and what have you, to put some more ink on paper too, and write some more. Not for the sake of profit, but to push the culture forward in a certain sense as well. That is very important, I would say, and it's something I hope that White Wellbeing can kickstart in certain ways as well. I would even dare argue that there are such men who have already started that, but there is a book mafia too, and that is the reality. Anti-whites will not, will do their utmost to make it as difficult as possible for good men to or women to post anything or to publish anything. And well, anyways, that's what that's what I wanted to toss in there before maybe the topic shifts. Yeah, all right, I'll leave it here for now.
Well, I appreciate that, and you made some good points, but I can tell you that you didn't miss anything. I mean, I can't do it justice his life story, so I just kind of threw some notes out there, and yeah, you didn't miss much. One of the main things that I was highlighting was the Robert E. Howard Foundation, especially the YouTube channel. I'll keep putting that out there. I'm going to try to jump off and go onto YouTube and link that so you guys can have it. But it's like I said, it's got a very small following right now. But if you're interested at all, it's really, I mean, it's great. Like I said, these are scholars that have studied his work. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that really appealed to me about him was it's really his characters and his story writing is very masculine, but at the same time, he lived a very masculine life. So, and there's some aspects of what they call now, they say it's like main character syndrome, I think it's called. And he was very much that type of guy, but he kind of he did live it. Like he would sensationalize some of his own stories. There was a situation where he had got into a car accident, and he kind of hit a telephone pole or some type of pole, and he like in one of his letters, he just like overly just told the story, like he really spiced it up. But then the firsthand accounts that made it sound like they just kind of bumped it and nobody really got hurt. But he would kind of do that because I mean he wanted to be like I said, it's almost like the main character in his own story, and he was. But it definitely came through in his writing as well. Yeah, I would love to see that too. I guess that's one reason why I brought him up because uh, I mean we've had a few conversations about the lack of masculinity and but at the same time, this was a completely different era in the United States. He bounced around from like one oil town to the next. This is when there was a oil boom in Texas, and that was a rough life in itself, especially moving around at a young age, and it's having to readapt to new environments is always tough. But as I mentioned, and yeah, he did have a little bit of an amateur boxing career. There's not that I know of is a ton of information on it, but for sure he did have his hands in boxing, and he loved boxing because the sport was huge in those days. It was as big as football is now. So, but yeah, he definitely he was as tough as he came across. So I thought I saw. Did I see his hand was up? Yeah, you're good, Hans.
Okay. I did post my the only book that I have of Conan. He's grabbing some bad guy by the throat. But when I posted that, I saw that Jerome asked a question. He asks, has Andrew Torba been listening to or reading Jason? Um, so that's not a lot of context, but I did look at the long post Torba made recently about that horrific murder on the train of Irina, and I would say probably not. And um, the reason for that is I think he has passive exposure to the concepts that we use to recapture our destiny. But when you are in a community, every ideology has its own terminology, and in our community, our ideology is white well-being. And if you compare it, for instance, anti-whites, there are certain terms when those terms are used, you know that person is deep inside the anti-white narrative. For instance, terms like misogynist, transphobe, those are words that, in my experience, only people who are deep inside the anti-white narrative will ever use those terms. Now, racist is, of course, their canonical anti-white slur, but they were so successful in promulgating that basically everyone outside of our community uses that word. So that's not an indicator. That's an indicator of um, um, not being in our community. So there are negative terms that disqualifies the user to be in one community or another. Now, those anti-white terms immediately you can determine that the focus of those people, that community, is anti-white, and the audience is everyone. And the reason for that is because the anti-white media, um, has the dominant reach. Now, if you look at the anti-Jewish movement, they have terms like goy, zog, zio, something. So these terms, only people in the anti-Jewish movements use these terms. And the audience for those terms are audiences that you can reach from an anonymous account or your close friends. Because, of course, using those terms um, will cause the anti-white power structure to see you and destroy your life, because you are they consider you um, anti-Jewish, and Jews there are a lot of very powerful Jews who see themselves as a people, and anyone who is anti-Jewish will get their attention. Now, our community has terms like white well-being, Western kind, white erasure, white positive. If you hear these terms, 100% it's someone in our community. Now, Andrew Torba, and of course, the audience for these terms is once again everyone, because these terms are focused on our well-being and not on the ill-being of any other group. Now, Torba uses anti-white, but when we go deep into not only the connotation of a term, but the spelling makes a difference. And we will debate the best spelling, and usually there's one spelling that wins. But in the case of anti-whiteism, for instance, there are two spellings that different people in our community have an opinion on. So, but Andrew Talbot uses a specific spelling that we deem harmful. So his spelling of anti-white has a dash in it. And the problem with the dash in the anti-white is now you are combining two separate concepts. Now we don't control the concept anti, and we don't control the concept white. So anti-white can mean a range of things. That's not what we mean. When we spell it, we make it one concept, anti-white without the dash, like anti-Semitism. That's There's no opposite to anti-white. The opposite of anti-whiteism is the lack of or there is no opposite of anti-whiteism. White well-being is the opposite of white well-being is the lack of anti-white victimization, but anti-whiteism is a concept on its own. So that's just a long answer. But on the other hand, so Torba is absorbing our concepts passively as it permeates through society. So this demonstrates how white well-being, our terms are curative contagions. So they propagate in a viral manner, and this necessarily means that they will be mutated on the way. But nevertheless, it does demonstrate the power of the Go Free method, and it is that we have these very powerful concepts that we introduce into the conversation, and people spread it without even knowing that they're doing it.
Yeah, you made some great points, and I really the concept of including that dash in between anti and white, that's really important too. Like we define our own terms, and especially with I mean, and that was something that in the beginning wasn't completely clear to me, but then as time went on, now I can't imagine it any other way. The I mean, anti dash, it could be anything, and when we take that out, it's something completely different. It's its own it's its own it's its own term. So, but I'm unfamiliar with what Andrew Torba said on this. Like I said before, though, we've been completely bombarded with. I mean, everybody is putting their 2 cents in on this, and rightfully so. Some people are just sharing their personal feelings. I definitely understand that, but then you got other people that are completely. I mean, I don't know. It's been pretty disappointing. I mean, I've been seeing people that like there's Dr. Todd Grande. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him, but he's got a large YouTube following. Even he's talking about this. The title of his video was called something like "Media Ignores Lethal Stabbing of Ukrainian Refugee by Career Criminal," which that in itself was kind of surprising to see, because sometimes I know he's definitely not white sympathetic. He tries to explain things away like so many other people do. So I wouldn't expect him to be like using anything close to our terminology, but at the same time, this is getting recognition from a lot of people, um, besides just this community and the Spurgs, I guess we would call them. But uh, did I'm not sure who had their hand up first between Janitor of White Noir and the Blue Flame.
And me.
All right, you're good to go.
Um. So, uh, I got the interwhite professor on my schedule again today. So, I went to his class, and there was this topic he brought up, and it brings up the MC about voting nor violence to me, and also it brought up the because he was talking about the words, just like how we're talking about the power of, linguistics, and my experience using I think it was a meme curative with my family, bringing up how oh, because um my family, they were like, people of color XYZ, and I was like, that's excluding white people from humanity. So, and then I had the authority on that because that was one of the topics, that was brought up in class, and I'm linking that how I brought that up with my family. But I just said it, because it's a meme curative, like how I think I'm supposed to say it. And it brings up the how the authority, I mean, it's really uh like a a dream of how um how effective white erasure is, because that was the last MC on my brain as I left my class this today. But another uh meme curative, or key concept of our tools. And I brought up yesterday, I was I Biosphere of the West saw my outreach yesterday, and it was right off of our conversation in Shade Tree yesterday, where it was about the crime stats is a nuked. It's a mute point because uh not only white labeling and white pixeling, but the exonerated part, and it was just about that random um anti-white who you saw like posting or something, but rejecting anything like that, because so I brought that up to an influencer yesterday, and I mean, I brought it up perfectly. I said, because this guy had left it on the screen for 2 minutes, so he didn't even really like, he brought my comment up there, and my comment has the NWG website on there, so uh it's that on top of my um it's anti-white resentment that has increased, not oh yeah, we can't trust the crime data because the anti-white ideology has cooked the stats. White well-being method calls that a hush crime. So I identify that we are the authority of white well-being because we are the method, and then I give him the tool of hush crime. And um he brings up Mark Dice like while he's reading my comment. I'm like, wow. So that it was like white erasure, hush crime. These are key concepts that you get into to the conversation. Well, I mean, like the social, like that's just what's out there, right? Like in the conversation of other people, um, who are gonna adopt, or be we're gonna swallow our victories, our success, right? Um, and yeah, regardless of data. So that was a pretty good thing, because he had a large following, and he left it on there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's funny that you actually mentioned Mark Dice too, because I actually started watching his video on this situation, mostly because Cool Papa J Magic left a comment under his video, and I just went to go upvote that and boost it because I mean we want our guys to rise to the top of these comment sections. But under his comment, one of the first comments responding to Cool Papa J Magic was in regards to these crime statistics, because even I mean everybody knows this now, and it kind of goes along with what we said yesterday. But I mean he was the guy, just the commenter was pointing out that the crime stats are off. They're talking about like 16% is responsible for 60% of the crime or whatever, when we know it's way off. uh, so yeah, I mean, and to go back to what we were saying before, if the crime statistics is what convince people, then we'd be in a way different situation. But once again, I definitely I respect that you're bringing this stuff up, especially the lexicon and everything in your class. Of course, you're the one that knows. Like, I mean, if you've been doing this for a while, so if you're good to do it, that's awesome. It's awesome that you're doing that. I would like to just like I wonder like what are your classmates thinking when you put that stuff up there. But I mean, yeah, that's I definitely respect that. But I saw the Blue Flames hand was up.
Guys, I just saw, like while you were talking, I saw on the feed that Charlie Kirk has been shot or shot at, like 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. I shared the link in the Tron thingy. Uh, is it showing? Yeah, there. Yeah, you should be able to see it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I quote: "Charlie Kirk has been shot. Pray for him." And then a clip of a crowd freaking out. It's just fucking endless, isn't it? It's just one after the other. Are you guys seeing it too?
Yeah, I see it. And if
Yeah.
it's Marjorie Taylor Greene, then yeah, that's a reliable source.
People have barely begun starting to talk about the arena, and then this shit. No, are still reeling from Metcalf and so many others. Is evil that has to stop, man. It really has. People need to really stop with the nonsense and start using what works already. Yeah, I don't want to mess with the flow of the conversation, guys, but I just saw this. Hmm.
No, you're good. I didn't hear about this. This is my first time hearing about it, so I definitely appreciate you bringing it up for sure.
Yeah, I just
You're
saw.
right. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say, it's like I just saw it a few minutes ago. While you were talking, it's like I was double checking some stuff, and well, but people are starting to post it all over now.
Yeah, it's fucked up, and we can only guess what the motive is behind this one. I got to be honest. I don't follow Charlie Kirk closely. I know he's a conservative, and he's got a lot of conservative takes. That's enough for me to just kind of. But of course, he doesn't deserve to be shot. Like, come on now. But yeah, I mean, it's actually really frustrating because we need the I mean, I don't know if that sounds selfish or not. I don't care. We need the focus to be on our people, period, getting shot. But this is something. I mean, I don't want the attention to be taken away from what just happened on the train. Of course, this is terrible. We don't need. anybody, any of our people being shot at, especially if it's over some political opinions. We can only imagine, like I said, what the motives are going to be. But yeah, unbelievable. I think Hans, your hand was up.
That looks bad. It looks like it's in his chest. That looks bad.
Yeah, it's unreal, man. The janitor of White Noir, I know your hand was up, and then we'll go to Tree Godfather.
I haven't used the lexicon in my um classroom, but I do, speak in this space. And when I was outreaching, I'm doing it from my apartment, and so I have, neighbors and whatever. I mean, I do. Let's see. Oh, I don't think they're home right now. So uh, you can kind of see that using what works is, a little bit uh, you know, I don't know, scary, but also like if you're gonna come, like if one of my neighbors were to confront me, I mean, they'd probably be like, "So what? You care about white people?" And they'd be like, "Yeah," and yeah, I mean that would pretty much be it. And because I spend my time at the campus or the cafeteria, so I'm like, I sometimes imagine that, not sometimes, like one time I imagine that like recently, um, and I was like, okay, I mean the thing is I would have like all these MCs, and that's even without, like, because normally I like to just read what I have bookmarked from recent, like if it's something about the news, I'll go look at what our community has posted, and then just attach it to that. But I already have a bunch of them, like like in my notes. Like I don't need to. I mean, it's obviously I think of it kind of like a handicap whenever I do that. But if I were to get, I have a bunch of MCs, and so like the interaction, how like yesterday in the shade tree we talking about how women. Julia was bringing up the in person, like leveraging that if we were women, but um yeah, because it's not like it's still highly valued, like especially when I did it with my family. Like I just brought up how that's valued even to this morning when I was in my class, and I was like connecting how we're the method.
Man, I'm looking at this stuff, and I just can't believe that. I just can't believe that this is where we're at. I mean, he just got shot, and I mean, Jesus, man. Uh, it looks really bad. I mean, we definitely I don't know. I don't even know what to say, to be honest, on this. That's really bad. I see your hands up, the Tree Godfather.
Yeah, so I just checked a couple of news reports. Apparently, a single shot fired. He was struck, from what's being reported, at Utah Valley University. Now, of course, we don't all agree with everything Charlie says, but he's still a member of Western Kind. So, of course, he's one of us. We obviously care that he's shot, and it's getting crazy. This anti-white terrorism is getting way, way out of hand.
Yeah, you're 100% right, and that's what they're not even they're not going to call it that. That's what because that's what I'm looking at. It's exactly that's the point. I'm looking at this shit, and uh, we can, like I said, we can assume the motive, but we just know they're not going to. The people that report on this, the story that comes out, everything else. I mean, the media is going to have to. They're going to have to talk about this one, of course. I mean, but it's it's just unreal. I mean, nobody's going to tie it back to anti-whiteism. It's going to be some stupid conservative take. That's I can already imagine, but it looks terrible. I mean, they said his last words were gang violence. That's what somebody's saying. Of course, I mean, and it looks like it's an older white man that was arrested for it. So you can just imagine. And I didn't mean to just kind of uh, glaze over what Janitor White Noir was saying. I definitely I appreciate your efforts, especially in school and in the academic capacity. Like this is where it changes. This is really important because we have to normalize our lexicon. Well, it has to people purposely like they're ignoring the lexicon and our strategy, our the go free method. But uh, this is why shit like this keeps happening. But I think your hand was up next, Janitor of White Noir.
Yeah. So yesterday, the shade tree, there was an importance of normalizing through daily engagement and stressing the go free message. Um, and this, if maybe I should share the video to the space, but I shared with this I outreached with this guy on like one of these chats for his live stream, and he's a pollster, like a country size American like that. And earlier, a few months ago, I brought up another tool out of a Go Free, which is the anti-white terrorism, like Tree Godfather brought up. And he read it and he was like, well, if a politician would use that, then I can run a poll on it. And that was encouraging. And then I shared, just last night, from the one that I brought up and put into the Jumbotron, another few actually, but the important concepts.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of feeling out what this story's developing into, and people calling it anti-truth, anti conservative, like conservatism, and people are just they're just gonna stay lost, I guess. Um, yeah, we hope he pulls through, but man, it's anti-white terrorism. It's unbelievable. Biospirit of the West. I haven't heard you yet today. Did you want to speak on this?
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to it. It's just another one of those things. I'm looking through the photos of it, and of course the perpetrator, because he's a white man, is we all already are going to know everything about it. And I don't really know what else to say about it. I'm so disgusted by everything that's been going on. Um, there's not a minute of a day that goes by that we're not having another one of these things happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what can we say that hasn't already been said 100 times? And it's really, we're just, instead of normalizing our concepts, we're just normalizing the process of seeing our people get slaughtered on on social media. Like that's the only thing. We're just gonna get more and more comfortable with seeing our people just get killed in broad daylight. It's unreal. Janitor, White Noir, and then Hans.
I yesterday earlier in that stream, he said crime increasing, Trump, military, state police, or something like that. And so I confronted that with it's anti-white resentment that has increased, and that was to confront like how you're able to visualize what the next um white cuck will say about this recent um violence, or someone trying to take his life.
Hans.
So this is just another prediction that Jason made that sounded ridiculous at the time, and this was years ago, where he said that when political assassinations start, it will not be the explicit white sympathetic sphere that's targeted by the anti-whites. It will be the conservative sphere. And this is happening now. We talked about AFD, that those look like textbook hush crimes, with the regime going into full lockdown on those stories. Now we have Charlie Kirk. Of course, we had Trump. We know that. Charlie Kirk is sort of I mean, Charlie Kirk's private army must be tiny compared to Trump, so he's probably a lot easier to get to. The other thing is, this is going to somewhat derail the anti-black movement that is pushing the narrative that there's an evil seed inside blacks that make them murder whites. So they totally ignore anti-whiteism. Or the fact that 100 years ago, per capita crime was the same across races because there was no anti-whiteism. So this is going to somewhat derail the narrative. I hope Charlie Kirk survives. He has been consistently moving towards white well-being, and that's just a question of time. This is another prediction of Jason, where he said that even though these people don't care about us, they have to follow the audience. So eventually everyone is going to talk like us. The only ones who are not going to be are going to be either in prison or work for the feds. So I hope he makes a full recovery. I mean, he's a father, he's a husband, with a beautiful family, and to dehumanize him because of his positions is to dehumanize half the white race. So, and the half that actually can be redeemed, because the anti-white half can't be redeemed. So please don't do that. But yes, that was my thoughts.
Biospirit.
Yeah, I was just looking at another post by I am yes, you or no that has a video of a different angle, and it looks like the bullet hit his carotid artery. The blood came out just gushing. If he didn't get medical attention within a minute, he didn't make it. This was a really, really horrible shot.
Yeah, you could tell from, I mean, there's the far away video and then there's a closer up version that's you could just tell it didn't it hit him dead on. It didn't just graze him. I mean, it's really bad. Um but yeah, Hans, you're right. I mean, just because we don't 100, I mean, because if we demonized and condemned uh everybody that doesn't 100% agree with us, yeah, you're right. It'd be most of our people, definitely over half. So we definitely can't do that. It's just, and I just hate that. I mean, people really, his Charlie Kirk, while it doesn't represent what we believe necessarily, his message really resonates with people. You could tell, like, I mean, look at how he's just kind of sitting there, just everybody's crowded around, and it's just like, I mean, he's just talking to his people. And I mean, I guess I don't know what this guy's motive is. Like I said, we can guess, but he hates him for it and decided he's gonna kill him. Who knows when he got it in his head, like uh that he must have said something and just said, I'm gonna put a stop to this, and decide to just take his life. And as you pointed out, Hans, that it's gonna overshadow the other. It's gonna overshadow the other crime that we've been seeing, because it seems like now every couple weeks there's a there's another serious shooting like this. If it's not a school shooting, it's something along the lines of this. And uh, we always see like that people just they don't care if the person's trans. That gets swept. I mean, people do. They're pointing it out. All these school shooters are a lot of them are trans. They said something like 4 out of every 5 of them. But that's lost on most people. It just appears that these are just white people carrying out these murders, and that's what everybody's going to focus on. But yeah, this is pretty terrible. We need people to go free now more than ever. Um, I don't know. I started this space today because, like I said, I was a little disorganized. I had a lot of stuff this morning, but I really, when I logged on, every time I would log on to social media, the first thing that was in my face was the sorry the first thing that I would see every time I would log on was Irana. So it's just, uh, I mean, and most of these people I just don't agree with. But I wanted to kind of hold this space to kind of, I mean, get not really a break from that, but have us talk about it, because it's really when I see people just like screwing up the narrative so bad, it's just like it's it's just really it's hard to deal with. I mean, with everything else going on in life, and then to just like you just can't escape this stuff. Not that I'm looking for a way to escape it. It's just, and then now this, I don't know. But janitor White Noir.
Hans brings up something I thought about earlier today, and it was the dial back time and the less anti-white, less white erased. Because I have a history class, right? And so we move through, we get closer to we move forward, closer to now, the present. Um, and and one of the topics was about was about back a few hundred, I mean, I don't know, 19th, early, late, like 1900, 1890, sometime then. Um, how there was like some pressure to have non-white blacks to be a participate and be harmonious with the America then, and then how there was like an opposing ideology that said be uh you know, like anti-white, I think. um and you can't normal white people don't forget that, and that's uh that's their lens. That's a lot of people's lens, because they can obviously see that. And then, and my history teacher is going like, oh, all these white people, they were like, yeah, you should be harmonious instead of being anti-white. I mean, that's how you translate it. That's how we translate it. And so now that the sentiment's gonna get away from the anti-black right now, um yeah, that's how I think.
Oh, the blue flame. Did you want to add anything else to this?
Sure, what is there to add? Again, like, what is that I wonder about this point in time? So he is, I do not know too much about him. Like, only his name is familiar to me, and that he's like vaguely this sort of. Would it be correct to call him a conservative, or that has been his messaging all along? For those who are a bit more familiar with what he does.
Yeah, I mean, well, Hans was saying that it seems like over the recent recent time, he seems to be going more towards our direction, but I haven't heard that. It's usually, I mean, they're all light on the racial issues, and as far as I've heard, like I said, I haven't really listened to Charlie Kirk in a while. I kind of, as far as conservatives go, I've really kind of given up on a lot of them. Um, but if he was heading in our direction, that's even worse. But uh, as the Tree Godfather said too, it's just because we don't, and Hans said as well, just because we don't necessarily agree with him. Of course, we would never want to see something like this happen. But
Yeah, I get.
I would be.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, no, it's okay. I guess I just wanted to add, and it's like, that's what I wanted to know. And the thing is, then at this point in time, so I hope he recovers, like I make a full recovery. But that's, let's face it, he's gonna be out of it for who knows how long. If he was like some major artery got hit, he's probably going to need a, what is that called, a blood transfusion in English, like that he's given blood and what have you to keep going while they're operating and all of that. I mean, it's gonna take a hot minute to recover from that alone. Um, so yeah, I doubly hope that he makes it through for his family, and on the other side, I hope that like, is this going to be the point maybe where he's going to realize is that like that you that people need to stop messing around and simply go with the messaging that works. I mean, I'm gonna keep repeating it at this point, I think, but these people have zero victories behind them. They got a lot of money, they got a lot of attention, they got some of them got their wifey this way or whatever it's gonna be, and their children that follow from that. Good on you, but that is all personal. That is your personal good. You're not achieving a societal victory at all. There is no cultural victory, nothing of the sort. And because of that, if the focus is, well, my life is great, so the selfish individualist perspective, my life is great, so I'm not going to keep doing this, whatever, effing around it is. Well, meanwhile, anti-whites are still in society and they're on the loose and they're going to come get all of us. And there you go. There's a clear example of that right there. Now, as what Hans was saying earlier, it's like, yeah, okay, this is like a nail in the coffin of this argument that it's all the non-whites and blah blah blah. And again, this goes to show that white anti-whites are a thing, right? And that as white well-being, the messaging that we do once again has been vindicated, I suppose, is that we've been calling out white anti-whites. You could go back for years, finding posts of us, warning people. Well, here you have it. It's kind of, it's like this semi-ostrich tactic that I think I'm struggling a little bit because I'm so angry right now in formulating my sentences proper. Um, but yeah, I if I hope I get the point across a little bit. I guess let me know if I don't. But is this half-arsed nonsense, which they think they are successful because their personal lives are going well, and for all you know, it's anti-whites tossing the money, without them even realizing it, just to keep them sated and stuck in their little corner where they keep distracting people from what really needs to happen. But the anti-whites in the meantime don't stop. And here we again, we see yet another example. And tomorrow it's going to be someone else, and the day after is going to be someone else again, and some are going to be high profile and some are going to be low profile. And then we haven't even gotten into the burglaries, the rapes, the murders. Well, the murders we do, but the burglars, the robberies. Man, I apologize. I'm really trying to. I'm really struggling a little bit with that. But yeah, like again, it's the same old question, I suppose. Like, is it enough society? Is it enough world? Like, are we going to come to the point where we're going to stop fucking around and going to just do what needs to be done so this doesn't need to keep happening over and over and over? Yeah, because like I'm seeing it. I was just checking it out too. I see people genuinely asking, like, what's going on? What the hell is going on? It's like we have been saying it for at least, like for me personally, I've been saying it across the West as far as I can reach for the last 9 to 10 years. And many others here, probably something very similar or even longer, right? So you should know, like some way, like that there is like a fringe of society that has completely never heard about it by complete coincidence. That's one thing. But this, if yeah, if you have these people who in a few years can have millions of followers, and we don't, well, okay, there is the shadow banning and all of that, but there is we reach out to thousands, if not sometimes even tens of thousands, or maybe even here and there 100,000 on the let's say the regular. Why are these people not sharing that? Like, what is going on in an organic way? It should have spread far faster than it does. And no, people just keep messing around. So yeah, we're gonna keep finding out. There is no hiding from this. There's no running away from this, and there's no talking away from this. You have to, if you want to heal a wound, you have to face it. That's step number one. And if you don't, yeah, gangrene sets in, and that's when the dying starts. I do not know what else to add to this. Yeah, I mean, we can only keep doing what we're doing. We don't have the enormous cash flow or whatever it's going to be, or at least not yet. Maybe some people will start, who know in general about white well-being, uh, might pay a little bit more close attention in the wake of all of this. But I guess again, that is, yeah, that is not something to hold your breath on. And maybe what I want to add to that again is, and we've spoken about it before over the last few weeks, months, is that if we want to if we want the community to have the means to succeed more broadly in society, it's going to, like, a large portion is going to be, yeah, becoming more creative. And in that same fashion as that you want your money to make more money, we need our advocacy to create more advocacy. um, and yeah, to look inwards, to look at ourselves and says, like, can I do something in my life that, can I invest in something, can I work together with a few people? Like, I'm not saying that we all should just blindly do one and the same huge project or whatever, not at all. It's actually better to do a lot of tinier things that could get great results. um, to Yeah, to financially really boost ourselves, on a personal level for certain, and then, whatever you can spare, you invest it into vital being in that way, that it has to come from us essentially. And if then eventually others, outside of the, let's say, the current community that we have, eventually end up joining and supporting what have you, like, that's awesome. uh yeah, so there is also, yeah, before I finish, maybe one small line too, and is that, uh, I don't remember where I got it from. Is the reasoning is basically is that if you want to insert morality into society, you can only do it from a position of high authority. What it basically means is when you have enough societal power, then you can assert, the morality that needs to happen. Because otherwise, the majority of people simply will never respond to it because they're that disinterested, or because there's just that much wrong with them, or whatever it's going to be. The reasons stay kind of in the middle. Yeah, I mean, again, just talking about, maybe some of us here have those abilities, those connections, or whatever it's going to be. You simply haven't thought about it, and that's why I bring this up. Um, or maybe you know a few in the community that you can trust to the degree that you might be able to clasp hands and in a sort of communal way, you do some investments or you look into starting a little company or whatever it's going to be, and then yeah, move on from there. But I'm kind of spitballing now, and I see that Hansel and Gladiator want to speak too, so I'll leave it here. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts on all of this for now at this point in time.
No, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. And yeah, I mean, with the thing with this is I just don't think they're the people that see this, they're not going to recognize the anti-whiteism, because I mean, in this situation, both the shooter and the victim are white. So when stuff like this happens, the conservatives, they don't, and our people in general, just they're not going to associate anti-whiteism in this, because they automatically have that programming where they think, well, how can he be anti-white? He's white himself. They don't get that. And then the conservatives always spiral into conversations about gun control and lack of policing, and then the budget that we need for the to pay for more law enforcement. I saw a post yesterday. I can't remember who it was, but somebody, I think a governor somewhere, was mentioning uh, in regards of the train situation. He mentioned uh, he described the situation, and then he said, well, this is why I need you to help approve my new budget for law enforcement. When in that particular situation, the police did their job. The police did their job 14 times, arresting this fucking animal, and then let him back out on the street. So it's not the police, but I'm just giving examples of what the conservatives end up spiraling into. It sucks because we need them to see from our perspective, but that just usually doesn't happen. So when they start talking about waking up, it always means something completely different to what we mean. To be honest, I don't know what they mean when they say waking up. Waking up to what? Like, they always find this safe way to skate around the real problem, and they don't properly identify the problem, so they're not going to identify the solution, and it's really frustrating. But yeah, I mean, we would do great if we had. We've mentioned our version of George Soros, and I've even seen Elon Musk got a couple posts directed at him, saying what's it? I think it was Henrik from Red Ice was asking uh, Elon in a post, what's stopping him from being our version of George Soros? I don't know how he responded. He probably didn't. I mean, what can he say in response to that? That means he would have to acknowledge that people are paying and funding the left and anti-whiteism. But I saw I think Hans' hand was up, and then Gladiator, and then we'll get back to you, Blue Flame.
So, like Biospirit said, that that he was hit in the neck. The color of the blood is doesn't look arterial, so it's slightly better. But if he's not minutes from ER, he would not make it. So he didn't make it. I request that we just have a moment of silence. Thank you.
No, absolutely, brother. I appreciate you giving your thoughts on that too. And yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible to see somebody get hit like that and survive if they don't have immediate medical attention. So we just hope that that's the case. I don't see any other updates as of right now, but hopefully we'll see them as they come. Gladiator.
Hi, I'm gonna be in and out real quick. Um, I'd say I'm out here working on one with people, and 8 times out of 10, I get the immediate response I get is, "Well, nobody's gonna do nothing." Just quickly, can somebody just give me a response, a quick response to come back with on that?
White Wellbeing is doing something, and then you point them to Jason.
Okay, that's exactly what I did this morning. I was eating breakfast in the huddle house, and that's what I did. I found a clip of Jason, and I just put it on the man's table. It was a man sitting in front of me because he was definitely on our level. He is fed up. He was obviously fed up. And that's what I did. He sat there. We ate breakfast. I sat at my table. He sat at his, and he watched the video. Now, I can hardly reach people on Facebook. I don't know why. When I try to friend people that I know, I can't even find my mother on Facebook. Me and him tried to friend each other so I could send him the petition, but we were not able to find each other. And nobody I know uses X. How else can I get this link out for the petition?
Biospirit, did you want to respond to that?
Um, if someone else could, I'm not in a good place right now.
Well, I'm pretty sure change.org itself, if you go to the actual website without the link, I'm pretty sure there's a way to there's probably a search feature. I would have to look it up because so far I've only used the direct link from X. But if I can figure that out, I'll let you know. But on the subject of people that say nobody's going to do anything, I would also, I mean, of course, always turn them in the direction of white well-being if you can. But people that so the last time I checked the petition, it was just under 50 signatures, and the thing is there's a lot of people that say like they want to do something and whatever, but then when something like this comes along, they don't sign it. You don't have to pay anything to actually sign your name to this petition. So my response to people that always claim that nobody's going to do anything and they're not going to do anything either is what about when stuff like this comes along? What's the excuse for not signing your name to this? I understand that I'm sure that some people are kind of afraid to put their name out there like that. Like I said, it's free, but right now it's like, so what are you going to stand for? If you're afraid to put your name to something, or just attempt to sign it under your alias at least. Like I don't know. Like so, what are you going to be willing to do? These are the same people that would talk about going out and fighting people in the street. A lot of people are full of shit, to be honest. So just keep doing your thing, Gladiator. It seems like you've been able to reach quite a few people one on one, but you're always going to have people kind of like push back on what you're doing. And if you can't get through to them in an easy enough way, then I would just say move on to the next person, because some people, they're just looking for an excuse not to act. Blue Flame.
I'm sorry to cut y'all off. I do have to. I'm going to be listening, but in about 5 minutes, I'm going to be back in the shop. But would you please just DM me? And if you get any more information on how to put the petition out. Thank you. I love you,
Yeah,
brothers. I love you all.
yeah, no problem. We love you too. Take care. You should be good to go, Blue Flame.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, what you were mentioning there, like for example, with Henrik saying something on the lines of like, why isn't Musk or George Soros and blah blah blah? Like, I can answer that very quickly because of your juice burging, dude. And like, just these people. I mean, like, I really want to like Henrik, because his old stuff wasn't like that at all. He can do so much better, but for whatever reason, he gave into that mess. And yeah, someone as far removed as a billionaire or a millionaire, even, people who just have, who financially are basically set and have a lot of, I suppose, personal freedom in their life overall. They can genuinely say, I stop doing anything tomorrow and I'm good for the rest of my life. Those kind of people, yeah, i- they're not good. They didn't make it financially as far by blindly trusting people to begin with. They probably had to do some, so a few brutal moves in their upward careers, whatever it was, and some who just hit it well, found the, what is it called, a hole in the market or something, and they filled it up and it got them rich. Yeah, all good on them. Um, but these are the same people with a sort of work ethic that yeah, that comes with you. You're gonna have to do something for it if I'm gonna give you money. And if Juicebergs or whatever think that they in any way are going to get randomly supported for that, it's like they're living in la la land. They absolutely do. Uh, and if there are some lunatics with a lot of money out there who do that sort of thing, I'm pretty certain that they are listed on yeah, that they are on some kind of list, and that they might have their bank account shut on them very quickly, permanently, and that sort of thing. And that is why, and wisely so, rightly so, why a lot of people with a lot of money stay the hell away from all of us. That is to say, from them, and by extent, of course, us, because Juicebergs love to pretend that they care for whites. That's how they try to bring in naive youngsters, and indirectly, it's how they keep away, people of conscious, people who are conscientious, and yeah, there's little else to add to that, I suppose. They themselves are the very reason why a lot of support that is willing to do something is simply not showing. And because they are so obnoxious and loud compared to us, I guess, it makes people want to go right back to their own lives. Like, okay, want to do something for the white race. I have a few million to spare. Okay, what do we have out there? And one side is like black, 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 black. The other side, Jew, 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 Jew. And they're like, yep, fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm going to the beach in Florida or whatever it's going to be. It's really that simple. And this is actually also why, we've spoken about this before as well. We really need to make very clear distinctions between white well-being and between this juice burging. And I think we've been playing too soft in a certain sense. We want to help people. We want to bring people in. We want to get people to stop their bad habits. And sometimes that works. But the one or two times that it works doesn't weigh off against all the other times that it's, well, yeah, you just have to deal with the worst of humanity, right? And yeah, I do think that as far as our advocacy goes, we need to be way harsher with Duisburgs. I think, like, way harsher. These people need to be laughed and mocked out of the room. The only reason they are as prevalent as they are is only because of the work we've done. Like, it has to be said, they were all ready to vanish forever in their cellar or whatever it was going to be, or in their little clubs, never to be heard from again, basically, because anti-whites would find them and go after them, right? And then suddenly we show up, or Jason shows up. We have this morality, and these parasites immediately, they didn't wait two heartbeats before they jumped in on that, and now are trying to take that over, or pretend to They pretend to care. Like they understand the morality of it, and that's why they want to use it. They want to, but for their own nefarious purposes, right? They don't want to do anything noble with it. They just want to, they use it to hide their evil behind. And it's actually very similar to what anti-whites do with us, right? Anti-whites hide behind all sorts of masks, feminism this and Democrats that, or whatever it's going to be, or even Republican. All these masks to hide their venomous hatred towards us. But yeah, that's why they don't show up, because these vile types are still all over the place. Anyways, that's what I wanted to add to that real quick.
Janitor.
I have played um football, and I think rugby has this similar thing. And as an analogy to loss aversion, I think of the fumble and the me carrying the ball. And I think a lot of most of you guys are smarter, so or can like maybe one of you come up with an analogy for that loss aversion and fumble, because I think the loss aversion and why it's been brought up as a way to spread go free is because uh the identifying with the collective, and that's got to be a priority, and it works to make that message go out and for people to internalize it. Because I mean, your coach tells you don't fumble the ball, your whole team's telling you if you fumbled it, you're like a loser. So I think it's a really great analogy. I just thought about it, like that'd be a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we're kind of fumbling this opportunity that we have to kind of capitalize on these tragedies. I mean, we kind of have to use these to bring people to white well-being, but as it's tough because we're competing with these other. I mean, they're not all Spurgs, I guess, but I mean, really, like what the Blue Flame was saying, people like Henrik, um, they end up being the face of something that good and moral white sympathetic people don't want to be a part of. So it's just and like you said, we really need to for everybody that we bring to this, it's like we need to it goes hand in hand with separating ourselves from Jewsburgs and shit, because that we know the conservative take isn't going to be right, but at the same time it's vague, and there's still a potential to bring people to our side, but I guess there's very few opportunities to convince people that are already convinced that it's just it's Zionism or it's Jews or anything else like that. That conversation is going to come up with this situation, this tragedy with Charlie Kirk, and it's not going to be productive. But yeah, I mean, like you said, that's gotta that's it's more important than ever. Like that's what I was mentioning yesterday. It's almost like we're competing with these people. Um, so I don't know, Hans. Did you have anything else on this?
No, I don't. But I would just like to caution people to post while you are not thinking straight.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, that's one thing with X2. You kind of have to like I never just put out like a response that I didn't think about beforehand. It's not like a text message or something. The context definitely matters. So yeah, think about what you say before you say it. I mean, you can always, I guess, delete it, but once it's out there, it's out there. Um, I guess I also want to mention again, if anybody, because I said something about it in the beginning, but Biospirit of the West started he started a petition on change.org, and and that's the website. It's just change.org, and it's justice for Brana Zarutska, and I highly recommend that everybody sign it. And the goal, I also have this item up here. It's a mission statement pretty much from Jason. He posted last night, and in that at the end in the comments there's a direct link to the petition that Biospirit of the West started, and they're looking for signatures. You can contribute money if you want to, but that's not, you don't have to. It's completely free. You just have to sign your name to it, and the point is uh to bring awareness to the people that can actually make a difference. We want swift justice in this case, and swift justice looks like the death penalty for this fucking animal that killed her. So um, it started last night. I can't. I'm gonna open it up the next time I get a chance, but it was under uh, 50 signatures. So, I mean, for people that are looking for something, looking for a way to help, this is it. Because at the end of the day, the names attached to it, they're standing up for, and this isn't something to, this is something to benefit the white race. It's not just, I mean, and I can't do Jason's statement any justice. If you haven't seen it yet, it's right there for you. It's definitely, it's a powerful statement. It defines what we are as white well-being advocates. So I can't recommend it enough if you haven't seen it yet. But also with the change.org, uh, it's right there. So just think about signing your name to it. I don't even think you have to have your name. I think you sign your name to it, but I don't think it has to appear anywhere. I'm pretty sure that's an option if you are worried about staying anonymous. I understand. Not everybody. I mean, we live in an anti-white world, so to put your name out there like that, I get it. I understand, but yeah, so once again, sorry guys, I'm kind of disorganized today, and then with this situation with Charlie Kirk that just kind of came out of nowhere, it just kind of threw us all off. So I'm kind of it's a choppy conversation compared to what we usually have, but I appreciate everybody being here for sure. I wouldn't mind keeping the conversation going. Oh, there we go. Come on in, Tree Godfather.
Yeah, brother, I just want you to know that you're doing an excellent job. Because, you and I both had a rough day, and there's been a lot going on. We didn't get much chance to prepare, and you're handling everything like a champ. I just wanted you to know that.
Well, for you to say it, then that's perfect, man. I don't need anybody else's approval but yours, so I definitely appreciate that, brother, for sure. Um, and part of the reason why I just wanted to go live with this is because like it was a rough day this morning, and then every time you log on to X or YouTube, you're seeing these tragedies right in front of your face, and just knowing that these people that are commenting on stuff, people absolutely, they deserve they have the right to share their feelings and opinions. But as I said, it's frustrating because a lot of people, they say, well, hopefully we when we say wake people up, it means something completely different than what everybody else means. I was watching Edward Dutton, the Jolly Heretic, and he put out a 20-minute video, his reaction to Irana's murder, and it's just it was about how uh, the reason why it affected people so much was because of how beautiful she is and everything else. But at the end of the day, it's nothing to do because he's the one that coined the term, I believe, spiteful mutants, which is it's a pretty effective way to describe somebody, but it has nothing to do with our it has nothing to do with anti-whiteism. You can call people spiteful mutants, and I guess people really like that term, but what does it really mean at the end of the day? And there's no solution in that. It's just like I said, it's been really disappointing to but what else can we expect? I mean, we're talking about solutions, and then literally in real time we see this situation with Charlie Kirk, where unfortunately he got shot. I mean, it's up there if you guys haven't seen it, but yeah, it's one of them days, guys. It's kind of hard to know where to go from here. But if anybody had anything else they wanted to add on this, feel free. But if not, we might just wrap it up pretty soon.
I've been a little divided between the YouTube stream and such. Did you read out Jason Cohen's press release?
No, I didn't read it. It's up there though. I was wondering if I should because I might butcher it, to be honest.
I'll give it a crack if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
From Jason Kuna for immediate release, September 9th, 2025. The Foundation for White Wellbeing condemns the racially motivated murder of Irina Zarutska, calls for justice and an end to anti-white violence. Charlotte, North Carolina. The Foundation for White Wellbeing expresses its profound outrage and sorrow over the horrific murder of 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska. On August 22nd, 2025, Miss Zarutska was brutally stabbed to death in a vicious anti-white attack aboard a Charlotte area transit system train, an incident captured on video that has since sparked widespread public outcry and debate. Tragically, Irina died alone, sobbing and afraid, abandoned by bystanders who failed to intervene. The suspect and career criminal, 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown Jr., has been charged with first-degree murder by the U.S. Justice Department, with federal charges now making him eligible for the death penalty. Graphic footage released by the transit system shows the anti-white assailant attacking Ms. Zarutska from behind, stabbing her in the throat as she sat quietly. Despite reportedly saying, "I got that white girl," as he walked away, Miss Zarutska's blood copiously dripping from his knife in hand, no one stepped forward to subdue him or to be with her during her final moments of life. This heinous act, widely circulated on social media platforms such as X, has been described by Charlotte's mayor as a tragic failure by the courts and magistrates, highlighting systemic issues that allowed the suspect's prior criminal behavior to go unaddressed, a consequence of the white erasure of white norms in policing and the justice system. The Foundation views this incident as a stark example of the rising tide of anti-white violence, which stems from the incessant dehumanization and vilification of whites by the media and educational systems. Miss Zarutska's animalistic murder and her solitary terror as her life slipped away is a direct consequence of this anti-white dehumanization and vilification. As noted by many, the lack of media coverage and public action highlights a troubling bias that fails to address hate crimes targeting white individuals and Western kind at large. Because this was an anti-white attack, the Foundation calls on U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi to apply additional hate crime charges to ensure the full weight of the law is brought to bear on this case. According to data and commentary shared online, anti-white bias and hate constitute a significant portion of hate crime motivations, yet such incidents often receive inadequate attention or response from authorities and media outlets. We condemn the local and state leaders in North Carolina, such as Charlotte Mayor V. Lyles, as well as those in the media for their silence or tepid response to this anti-white attack, an attack we know would be addressed differently if the races were reversed. Irina Zarutska, a young woman seeking a new life in America, was the victim of a preventable tragedy rooted in anti-white racial hatred and judicial negligence. The indifference of bystanders who left her to die alone, sobbing and afraid, amplifies the urgency of this crisis, a crisis engendered by anti-whiteism. The Foundation stands in solidarity with her family and all of those affected by this loss, urging immediate action to ensure justice is served. We call for the swift application of the death penalty in this case, as advocated by community leaders and echoed in public sentiment on X, to send a clear message that such acts of anti-white violence and anti-whiteism will not be tolerated. And we call for the white race to focus on our people and the various forms of victimization we suffer on a daily basis. Moreover, the Foundation for White Wellbeing renews its commitment to advancing white well-being and education through the promotion of the Go Free method, a psychological defense for the psychological warfare waged against Western kind. We advocate for systemic reforms to protect vulnerable populations, including white refugees, from racially motivated crimes. This includes holding accountable those judicial systems that repeatedly fail to protect public safety, as highlighted by North Carolina Representative Brendan Jones and other commentators. We invite the public, policymakers, and media to join us in condemning this act of anti-white violence and supporting initiatives to end anti-whiteism. For more information or to contribute to our mission, please visit the Foundation for White Wellbeing.org. And it gives about the Foundation for White Wellbeing. The Foundation for White Wellbeing is an educational organization committed to preventing cruelty to our most vulnerable and providing dignity for all by ending anti-whiteism. Through the study and promotion of the Go Free method, we aim to become the preeminent advocacy group for Western kind, fostering a society where all individuals are protected from racial hatred and violence. Petition below.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. And it's a great statement from Jason, of course. We wouldn't expect anything less. I did actually post the direct link to the change.org petition if you guys needed help with that. And I also I put up this response Jason gave that really kind of it really kind of it embodies like what we could say about so many of these conservatives that we don't agree with. So we had Insurrection Barbie's a pretty popular I guess she's a social media personality, but she was saying, don't let the media or anyone else bait you into a race war. This is not about race. This is about evil, and evil comes in all races and shapes and sizes. The only us versus them is law-abiding citizens versus criminals, and the prosecutors, and it goes on. But and you can read it if you guys want. But Jason's response is, this revolting cuck garbage is half of what prevents whites from taking our own side in the defense of our people. Quote, oh, don't notice that we are targeted as white people, because if we do, there might be a race war, end quote. And if we don't notice, there'll be a race war, and the only side doing the fighting will be the anti-whites. It's all about race at Defiantly Free, our race, the victims of societal blame, subway stabbings, gang rapes. Stop telling whites to not notice that we are targeted. Your cuck arguments has presided over the entire collapse of the West. Go tell the Jews not to notice when they think they're attacked. Tell the blacks not to notice when they think they're attacked, because if you keep telling us, we'll know you for what you are, anti-white garbage. So I really like that. And like I said, every time I come on social media, I'm bombarded by another lame take. Like I said, people have the right to share their feelings on the subject. I definitely I appreciate that. But for these people that are just kind of they're kind of putting their ideas out there as solutions, and really trying to discourage people away from white well-being. Fuck them. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say on that. Um, but yeah, once again, guys, if you haven't got a chance to sign the petition, please do so. You don't have anything to lose. Uh, I mean, we have everything to lose. Like, so, yeah. And I appreciate you for reading that, The Tree Godfather. I also see Jason's with us. Um, we got a handful of people today. I appreciate everybody being here. I didn't get a chance to really say hi to everybody. So, Ivan, Four White Wellbeing, Ye Old European, Cool Papa J Magic, VVVW, Stumbling, Cardia Nebula, Steve, Benjamin, Mike Mazzoni, Katie Pole, Grace Alona. I appreciate Garcelona. Sorry, I appreciate you guys. Um, we'll probably be. Yeah, go ahead, Tree Godfather.
Yeah, do you want to see if Jason wants a mic?
Yeah, for sure. Let me see. I don't know if it's going through for you, Jason. I tried to invite you as a speaker, but yeah, sometimes my connection's a little dodgy. But you're welcome to hop up here. Yeah, there we go. How you doing today, Jason?
Well, I got to tell you, I'm really shocked. I'm not going to hold you all up and wrapping up today. I'm busy myself, and I got to get ready for our gathering tonight, which, by the way, I want to tell everybody is not going to be on YouTube. Let anybody know that, is a regular in the live chat, that we're not going to be on YouTube. We will be on every other platform, though, today. So you'll be able to catch us, of course, here on X, Rumble, Odyssey, D Live, Entropy, everywhere but YouTube. But we had a video taken down, the one where, and you're talking about, I just heard a little bit today, talking about like the Jewsburgs and these anti-non-whites who are not really concerned with the well-being of white people, but selfishly individualistic anti-whites, just of another stripe. And interestingly, the video that got taken down was the one where we completely dunked on Orville's return to the land, and Hermes claiming that everybody in the real world is ready to just start calling blacks enners and start professing how racist they are. And they went out into the town and they found the exact opposite in their conversations, pointing out the reality, even in the most so-called racist town in America, not a single person was willing to say that they were so racist, and that the town was so racist, This, of course, demonstrating the truth that we teach here, that the social morality of the West is the anti-white immoral imperative, and that is what needs to be conquered. That's what needs to be defeated. That's what needs to be supplanted so that we can come together as a people, which is going to be the only way to recapture our destiny. We know that there are anti-white Jews. We know that there are anti-white blacks. We know that there are anti-white whites, just like the one, I believe, I don't have all of the information yet. I've heard only very recently about Charlie Kirk's shooting, and the good Lord be with him and the physicians if he's able to make it. But anti-white white person there. We know that there are these anti-white people. There's no ignoring that there are anti-white blacks or anti-white Jews. The reality is that complaining about these people doesn't create a people out of the vitiated white race. And we are going to need to have a people to resist our victimization and to recapture our destiny. That's the only path forward. So I wanted to make sure everybody knows that we are going to be on schedule tonight, 7 p.m. We're going to be talking about Irina Zarutska. And of course, this new information about Charlie Kirk being shot, absolutely horrific, shocking times that we're in here. And we see how fragile life actually is and how quickly anti-whites are willing to take it from those who trouble anti-whiteism in any way, even slightly. If you're not anti-white enough, you will be murdered by anti-whites. If you're not anti-white enough, and it doesn't matter if you're white, it doesn't matter how anti-white you are, you will be victimized. You will be killed. What happened to Charlie Kirk today, what's happening to our people every single day in Zimbabwe and South Africa, what's happening to our people every single day in North Carolina, in Germany, in Sweden, in the UK. Just another video of another young white British female coming out, making a video because they just released her rapist from jail, no bond. He's able to walk the streets in the small town that she's in. Another anti-white, non-white. You can complain about him, and I get the feeling, I get the emotion, I get the sentiment, I get the anger, I get the rage. You can complain about these people from dawn till dusk and all through the week and all through the year, and it doesn't arrest our victimization, because isolated individuals, and in this case, we're talking here about the white race, is no match for the unified actions of non-white groups and anti-whites within those groups, including our own race, acting against us. The only hope we have is to come together to value those of our community, to value those of our race, rather than just rage toward those who will victimize us. I know it might not feel 100% like the best course of action for a lot of people, but that's the truth. We've watched this sort of behavior. Eindelen just mentioned this woman on X arguing the cuck position, that whatever you do, remain in the abstraction. Don't acknowledge that we are being victimized as a people. Instead, just focus on the abstractions of communists and Marxists, and focused on the abstractions of community policing, and focus on all of these. No, we have to focus on ourselves as a people and in the victimization of white people, because we are members of the targeted white race. Only then do we have a hope. I hope to see everybody a little bit later, and I hope we have some good news about Charlie Kirk by then. I doubt it. Regrettably, I saw the video. I didn't know that it was going to be the actual shooting itself and the aftermath, and it's truly horrific. Now's the time to double down, to triple down on the seriousness of recapturing our destiny, and just accept there are going to be people out there, and I hear Eindelen's consternation with this. I've had it my entire life. There are going to be people out there who are not ready to do something about our victimization. Complaining is not doing anything. There are going to be a lot who are not ready to actually do something. And if we come across those, and you'll come across those, you just move on. Just say, you're okay, you're not ready. Or you want to talk about abstractions? All right, you're not ready. You want to talk about black Crime rates, okay, you're not ready. When you're ready to do something, you can step up to White Wellbeing. We have a strategy that works, the only strategy that's been improving lives. And it's time that more white people get involved and get fully involved as quickly as they possibly can in and with the practice of Go Free before we have to witness more of these Irina Zarutskas and more of these Charlie Kirks. But I'll let y'all wrap it up and I'll pass it back.
I really appreciate that, Jason. All day today, I've been having a hard time finding the right words, but you said it perfectly. So, uh, as always, thank you for joining in with us, and we definitely appreciate it. Um, the Blue Flame.
Yeah, well, while I was listening, I was also looking out a little bit on some updates. Apparently, is in the hospital. Like the last one I saw, 20-minute-old comment about him being in the hospital. Still critical, but at the very least, they made it. They made it that far, so that's good news at least.
Yeah, thank God. I'm glad to see that. Hopefully, he keeps improving. It looked terrible in the video, but uh, that's the modern medicine of the white man at work again. So hopefully he'll pull through. So thanks for the update. Um, and as far as the whole Jason getting, I mean, we talked a couple times this week about suppression and how we're really up against that. That's we're almost in competition with a lot of these J Spurgs, and the suppression is one of the biggest obstacles because there's no way that your numbers have been around 30,000 for this long while everybody else seems to rise to the top. It's we see what's going on, but I have a strong feeling that it's probably Arvel and I mean our own people that would go and try to ban and report and everything else what they don't like. It's just it's I hate it. It's disgusting. Janitor.
Yeah, the white cucks are going to, and just anyone who's not in our sphere, going to talk about this in ways that do not focus on white victimization and do not focus on white people and the anti-white social environment. And that's why in outreach, the prospects are going to internalize it when uh we're telling them it's a hush crime and it's for white well-being, because if we stop focusing on us and by using language like, I mean, that is just countering and shadowing other people, uh they're not going to start hating, because that's not it's not a trait. That's like, I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, everywhere I look, as far as people responding to these tragedies, it's always the wrong take. It's always I mean everything but anti-whiteism and everything to keep people away from white well-being, like the comment we were talking about that Jason responded to. You either have people that are just blatantly trying to ignore the fact that it's anti-whiteism, or they don't know how to describe it, or you even have people like that who are doing everything they can to push people away and redirect them. So I see your hands up again.
Yeah, well, that came to mind. What I was trying to conclude with is that it's because the victimizer is all over the place, but the victim is white people.
Well said. That's a good point. That's a good way to put it. So you're absolutely right. Um, I am going to try to wind this down now, unless anybody else had anything they wanted to add. And just a reminder to you guys, as Jason was saying, that he won't be streaming to YouTube tonight. It will be on every other platform, but it sounds like they're making an effort to try to suppress him even more on YouTube. So it's not very surprising, but I mean it's no less disgusting. So just don't forget the gathering tonight. It's probably still going to be at 7. So but I guess I'll go around for final words. The Blue Flame.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say that I haven't already? Um, yeah, as far as having again to see yet someone else get, well, hopefully he'll make it, but the attempted murder is definitely clear, and we know the next one is already lined up. We've trying not to swear. We know someone else is going to be next. If it's not tomorrow, it's going to be the day after, right? So yeah, to keep it short, it's just keep on advocating and get it in people's head to stop messing around already. Really. Um, what else is there for it? Yeah, yeah, and hopefully Mr. Kirk makes it, and I hope for him and his following. This is going to be a signal that they need to go all the way with white well-being. That hiding behind abstractions is not a shield for clearly for these psychos, the anti-white psychos out there among that are free to roam among us over and over, no matter what other crimes they've done before. And yeah, with that said, guys, again, for us, it's also a signal to bear in mind is that doesn't matter if you're hiding in a crowd, they will be there, and it's only and if these monsters are allowed to keep going on, that crowd is only going to shrink, and that's until it's your number that gets pulled, so to speak. So be bold and be wary. And with that said, try to enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I know for some of you it's been a rough one. Um, but at the end of the day, we can only do so much within our personal spheres of influence. And so long as we're doing that, you do what you're doing what you can, and the world at the end of the day is going to be the world as it is. We can we can only do so much in that sense, and the world needs to respond towards us as well. So try not to take it too hard on yourselves, and we're gonna keep going to win. All right, bye for now.
Well said, brother. Janitor of White Noir, final words.
Yeah, thank you all for I feel honored to be in your presence, and thank you all for really sharing it, the Go Free method, because of recently like yesterday I saw someone describe anti-white resentment and the social morality and everything without the the Go Free lexicon, but it was because of your guys' work. So thank you guys.
Well, we appreciate you too, and I definitely, like I said before, I respect all your efforts as far as trying to spread the lexicon and the concepts in your classroom and to your teacher. That's really bold, because there's some people that they're afraid to talk out at all, and you got to respect that. So, thanks again for your participation, brother. Um, the Tree Godfather.
I did post the Jason's stream post up there in the Jumbotron. We will continue to pray for Charlie, and we will continue to work spreading Go Free and making a people out of our deracinated race, because there is no other way to go forward. This is it, guys. It's either this or nothing. This has to work. and it will work. I'm pretty confident in that. If I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't be here. And I can echo what Janitor said. I'm honored. I feel like I'm in great company. You guys are absolute champions here, and so are the people over here on YouTube. I've been kind of displaying their comments as they come up. Love you all, and hope to see you all tomorrow under the shade tree.
Thanks again for all your help, brother. Wise words as always. Definitely. I mean, I couldn't do this without your help. So thanks again. And by the spirit of the West.
Yes, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for soldiering on today with this news that came about right in the middle of the shade tree. And I wanted to thank especially the Tree Godfather for reading Jason's press release for the foundation, and um, all of the people who have signed the petition. And I'm looking forward to um, the gathering this evening. I think we all will uh, benefit from coming together tonight. And we'll see you then. Thank you.
Well, we thank you, and we appreciate you setting up the petition and everything you do. We know you're basically on the front line of all this stuff, and thanks again for being here too, brother. Definitely appreciate it. Hans.
Yeah, the white erasure of our Western norms and standards turned our civilization into a hunting ground where people like Charlie Kirk and every white person is prey. And it's playing out in real time in front of our eyes. So we need to take ownership of our norms and defend them like the property they are. And this is the message that we need to get to our people, because they are just going to go down unproductive paths, and I can already see everyone raging against Democrats. So I don't know if I can believe it, but apparently there is hope that he is still alive. So that's I mean, incredible. But I hope and I pray that his life will be spared, and um, he will make a full recovery. Thank you.
Well, thank you, brother, and well said. And yeah, I mean, so many people have to put down their ego and realize what they've been doing is wrong, and make that personal that self transformation and start doing what's right, because we see what's happening and it's getting worse every day. I really appreciate you also calling for that moment of silence. That was really important. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys too. That kind of you wear your heart on your sleeve, and uh, it's definitely I really love that about you guys. So thanks again for your participation, Hans and Jason.
Nothing more really to say. Looking forward to seeing everybody tonight. We'll be talking about this and the seriousness, the gravity of it. And we have to pull together. And it's not going to be the entire white race that is going to come together to become a people. And it's not going to be the totality of the white sympathetic sphere, cucks and schmucks that are going to come together to become a people. It's going to be a special set of white people that have the courage and the intelligence and the drive to serve both our ancestors, the white people alive today and the children in the wombs and yet to be in the wombs. It's going to be a very special set of white people that are going to come together. We're going to have to look toward each other for strength and courage and continue marching forward against what continues to ramp up as an anti-white maelstrom that is devouring the West. We are the light to the recapture of our destiny. There are no others. Pass it back and see you all later.
Well said, brother. Amen. And yeah, don't forget, guys, tonight at 7 o'clock. Make sure you tune in, not on YouTube because of the suppression, but everywhere else. Yeah. And one last reminder about the petition, guys. Please sign it. Put your name to it because you're standing up for you're standing up for our brothers and sisters. It's we're the start of this, as Jason has said before. It's like we're a small community right now, but that's because this is the beginning. And yeah, we need each other more than anything. So I appreciate everybody being here today, and I'm going to go ahead with the outro. So this has been the Wednesday edition of the Shade Tree White Wellbeing NWG Space. We meet here daily at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on X. We practice the Go Free lexicon and concepts as developed by Jason Kerna, Mr. No White Guilt himself. You can find him here on X as at No White Guilt NWG, elsewhere as simply No White Guilt, and on the web at nowhiteguilt.org. I want to thank each and every one of the speakers and all of you who showed up to listen. You all make this space possible by bringing your diverse skill sets and intelligence here for all to share. Without all of your participation as speakers or listeners, it would just be me here fighting against the contractors trying to rip the tree down and probably build some type of public housing or something. So thanks again. I truly appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening. I love you all and hope to see you again tomorrow.